For the Lap Down podcast. I am your host, Ryan, for tonight because unfortunately Greg was not able to join us. I am joined, though, by, we've got Tyler, we've got Ty holding up the Ty shirt, and then we got Jamie who will be joining us here shortly. Yeah. So, welcome on in, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Not too bad. Pretty good.
Fantastic.
Win, lose, or tie.
Yep. So, as we get into this, and I say it was a very busy week of news, and I'm kind of glad
Yes,
we
yes,
are
it
doing
was.
the podcast today and not a couple of days ago when we were originally planning to do it because a lot broke, especially today. We got everything from race announcements to obviously race results, court stuff,
Lawsuit news.
more court stuff, and obviously in season tournament season finale upcoming. So we got a busy episode. We will get right into it. And I guess first thing we'll just go ahead and get the lawsuit stuff out of the way. First and foremost, 2311 and Front Row have officially lost their charter status after the judge denied their restraining order on the injunction, and it'll be and will be left as unchartered teams. Although NASCAR has also amended their rule book to allow at NASCAR's discretion to limit the field to only 40 entries to essentially ensure that the Front Row Motorsports and 2311 teams won't be able to miss the show, but now they don't have to be paid like a chartered team. So, real quick, anyone got any thoughts on this? Because I know a lot of us are just sick and tired of talking lawsuit and legal.
Honestly, can we
jargon.
just move on? Can we just move on and get to the race results?
Okay.
It's like it's getting old. Speaking of lawsuits, we'll get to that later. But we also have NASCAR just made an announcement today that in 2026, I think it was a June 16th through 19th, San Diego.
I think it's 19th through 21st,
or
but it's
19th through
Father's Day
23rd.
weekend.
San Diego Air Base will be hosting a NASCAR Cup Series race.
Yep, Coronado Air Force Base will be the host of one of the NASCAR races. This replacing the Chicago Street Course for 2026. This is notably a 1-year contract for the Coronado Air Base. And if anyone thinks that the layout that the base looks familiar, yes, it is the same place that they filmed Top Gun Maverick. So, looks pretty familiar and a very fitting place for the summer to kick off the the 250th year of the United States birthday celebration. So that'll be a fun track. Obviously, NASCAR put together an amazing video talking about introducing the race. A couple of things we didn't get. We didn't get capacity, and we didn't get the official track layout. But Tyler and Ty, you guys got some thoughts on this one, I'm sure?
I'll let Tyler go first.
Go right ahead. Oh, okay. Will you shut Lou? Anyway, so I actually like the promo video. I don't know if that's the official layout in the video, but if you guys haven't checked out the promo video for the San Diego Shag, it's actually pretty cool. But
Yeah.
I kind of like the fact that they're doing this. I mean, I understand that we're doing it on Father's Day weekend, but me personally, on an Air Force base, that would be way cooler to be on the 4th of July. But
Problem is, if you
it's
need
still
to use
really cool
public
the fact
roads in San Diego in addition to the Air Force Base, that would be extremely busy around the 4th of July, I would imagine. Yeah, so because it is an active Air Force base, because it's an active Navy base, I mean, with a airport, you have to be, say, when it comes to trying to put it on 4th of July weekend, that would be extremely tough because, again, you have a lot of planes coming in and out of that airport for different flyovers and other stuff. So makes sense why you can't do that one on the 4th, but yeah, it would definitely have been cool to have seen it on
it's
the 4th.
still. But let me finish real quick before I got interrupted. I personally think it's exciting because It's in Southern California. It's not going to be nearly as hot because it's going to be right next to the ocean. It's going to be actually pleasant for the fans. What about you, Tyler? What do you got?
So I guess I'm not optimistic about it. I loved the reveal trailer. I loved all the drivers in it. It was cool. It was funny. It had all the things that really, hyped it up. I was really hyped up. And then my immediate thought was, how are you going to secure a naval base for spectators, but also have it an operations base at the same time?
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
They already addressed that they're not going to be racing on the physical runway, but they might be racing, on like the taxiways and the different stuff like that. But then when I started looking at that picture a little bit more, I don't know if you can be as creative as you really want to be, because you would have to shove those race car drivers down through all these different dorms and barracks. And I'm not quite sure how safe that would be or how practical that would be. It's interesting to see how they do it. I think it's going to miss a lot of things that we really wanted. I guess we're hoping to see. I think it would be really cool to have, I know they can't go down the runway, but if they could have went down the runway, they could have made that really, really wide. You could have had people 4 or 5 lanes drafting off each other, trying to get down into whatever corner they're trying to get to. It would have created a really cool scene.
Like Pocono.
I'm not so sure that it's a good idea as far as security wise. But I'm glad that it's not on 4th of July. I don't think it would have been the same if it was. And overall, it's more of a wait and see. But we'll see how it turns out. The hype video was great. So let's just ride that high for a little bit until NASCAR's got, announcements of, okay, well, we're going to be doing this. But I'm anticipating it's going to be limited ticket numbers for security reasons. So It might be a highly sought event.
Oh, yeah, the ticket prices are probably going to be outrageous, which I wouldn't be shocked.
And one other note I did want to say is that I went and looked it up. 4th of July weekend next year will be the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So that would be an extremely tight situation with the active military base. To try and put it actually on the 4th. So I understand why they're not doing it. And they're also bringing the truck series here, which considering some of the outcry from some of the truck owners about thinking that the trip to Vegas earlier this year was a little bit much on their pocketbooks. I don't know how financially reasonable San Diego is going to be for that. Obviously, with it being a special race, maybe the purse is going to be bigger, but until we have the purse announced, that's one worry I have specifically for the truck race. I'm really excited for the NASCAR Cup Series race there, especially if they do go with the layout from the video. The layout from the video, it's fairly nice and boxy. It doesn't have any tight hairpins like we see at Circuit of the Americas, where the cars are just big and clunky around the hairpins that a track like COTA. So,
can I add something, Ryan, real quick?
Yep, go right ahead.
And not only that, it's going to be wide enough. There's going to be a little bit of there. It looks like there's going to be plenty of room for runoff and stuff like that, so it's not as dangerous as the Chicago street circuit.
Yeah, or even to quote another race, looking at Lime Rock, it's not going to have that same problem where it's so narrow. Yeah, you'll actually be able to get side by side. But when Ty mentioned the runways, it made me think of IndyCar at Cleveland from a while back when they used to race at the Cleveland airport. And man, some of those races were unbelievable. Some of the best street course racing you can see.
Oh, St. Petersburg is also an airport race too, as well.
Yeah.
Sebring as well. No, not Sebring. Never mind. I think there's another track that was like has an airport on it. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
But
anyway. that whole thing is a year out still, so let's go ahead and
Chicagoland. Speaking of Chicagoland, there is updates on Chicagoland for a future date. They just haven't confirmed when they want to return.
All right, so yeah, still no real news about Chicagoland as to like an actual date. Because I know a lot of people were talking about when Chicago Street Course was mentioned as being out. A lot of people were hopeful for Chicagoland to return, but it sounds like that is not in the cards for 2026 at least. But they are still leaving it on the table as a potential return. But again, enough talking about next year. Let's talk about what has passed here at Dover this weekend.
Before we move on to that,
okay.
August 2nd, Dirt and Turf and Lap Down will be meeting to cover the Bristol MLB. The Cincinnati Reds and the Atlanta Braves will be playing at the world's fastest half mile, the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway. What do you guys have thoughts on that?
My thoughts? I'll go with my thoughts first. I think it's a really cool idea. I don't exactly like their setup, but we'll see how that turns out. I was more excited specifically about some of the details on some of their jerseys. They got the racing numbers on the back of their jerseys that they're gonna have. The Reds have like the checkered flag. The Braves have the flames. It's a really cool idea. I like that. I like those kind of, I guess gimmicky jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, for a one especially, I think it works.
It's exciting to see it in new places. It kind of reminds you of when they would play the baseball games in football stadiums, or even something like really old polo grounds. So that part's exciting. I just hope that for the spectators that go, it's nice that it's exciting to see that they can see a lot of the action. That it's not kind of, oh well, I paid this much and I can't see anything type deal. I think it's hard to have baseball in a racetrack type setting, but they were talking about on I think it was Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour about having it there, and he wants to have all these different events at Bristol too. I think that you could have a racetrack, a multi-use. They had a football game there. That was kind of cool and exciting to see, but it wasn't really hyped as much as the baseball game is. So we'll see how it ends up and turns out. So, hopeful that, it's a good game. Hopefully not a snooze fest. Maybe 20 home runs would be great.
Well, it's also just when it comes to the location of Bristol, it is a little unfortunate that Tennessee does not have a baseball team to have the home team playing there. Braves aren't too far away in Atlanta, but it would be cool to see specifically a Tennessee team or even a Virginia baseball team come down and make it their home turf for that.
I just saw the Nationals over the weekend. I don't think you want to see the Nationals on a game like that.
I said a Virginia team. They're Washington. Different entirely.
Yeah, but Atlanta is closer. The Reds aren't exactly closer, but cool.
Yeah, and I think the Braves are a great team to have in this matchup. But yeah, specifically, I think it would be cool if Tennessee had a team to be like the actual home team of it. But regardless, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to that combined episode.
There'll be a lot of people in here.
What is that? A week from Friday?
Yeah, a week from Friday. Yep, we're gonna be doing that Dirt and Turf Friday night.
Yep. All right. So yeah, we've got that coming up, and then as I was saying, getting into the racing from this past weekend, we had both NASCAR Xfinity and Cup Series action on track. Starting with the NASCAR Xfinity Series, I think we can start and end it with one simple name, and that name is Connor Zilisch. Yeah, Connor Zilisch led a dominant amount of laps before the rain came and ultimately cut the race short. I don't think he was getting passed regardless, but yeah, it was I enjoyed the race, but yeah, the rain definitely kind of doused a lot of that excitement. But again, regardless of if that race went the full distance, I don't see any.
Yeah,
I don't see any of the other drivers taking that crown away from the Village. What were
Yeah,
your
I don't
thoughts
think
on
that.
the Xfinity race?
Yeah, I don't think anybody was touching Zillage.
Ty?
It went pretty much as expected. I watched Connor's ARCA race, and honestly, this Xfinity race was probably a little bit better. At least it was a little bit more competitive. Connor's ARCA race, I think he won by a huge margin last time. I was trying to find the details about it, but I can't find them at the current moment. But yeah, Xfinity was a little hit or miss because the storms in the area really kind of shook things up. And I mean, they canceled NASCAR Cup qualifying, and then they ran the Xfinity race, and I didn't even expect them to be able to run it with all the pop-up showers in the area. I know that when I was in DC, we were on a lightning delay twice. One was for an hour and then a half an hour. So at least the race got, as far as it did. I don't know if anybody's going to be as dominant as Connor right now moving forward. He's got so much momentum. I mean, this playoffs, he could have a phenomenal playoffs. I mean, he might end up with
the title.
Conservative, I'll say 8 wins. I mean, Connor's got to be the favorite to win the title. I mean, Allgaier's right there, and then Austin Hill is always surprising. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Xfinity at Dover. I mean, at least they got to run it.
Yep. I went and looked it up real quick. Zilisch had a 0.9 second lead, so 9/10 of a second lead over Giovanni Ruggiero in that race. And then Carson Kvapil was 2 seconds back, and then everybody else was 3+.
So, now, speaking of Connor Zilisch, before we move on to the Cup race,
yeah,
this all solidifies the fact that we already know it. We don't even have to make the announcement. We already know Connor's going up to the Cup next year, especially after releasing Daniel Suarez. We know this is coming. We already know what. We're waiting for the announcement.
Yeah, and my guess is that they'll announce it alongside hopefully at least one or two of his sponsors.
I'd love to see him in a Red Bull scheme for most of the season. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, if Red Bull sponsors a decent chunk, if not the entire season, that would be amazing. But
him and the
it should be WeatherTech also, because the WeatherTech sponsors SVG, and then it'll be.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect. I wouldn't expect Red Bull to be the full season sponsor. I would just. It would be nice to see a full season sponsor return like that, but
the return.
No, I probably still have spot ones like they have Kubota as a team sponsor, and then they got team sponsors and then driver specific sponsors.
Yeah, it would be cool though to see a driver get back to having a singular paint scheme for the entire year.
Kyle Larson already kind of does. I'm excited to see the new scheme he's going to have at Vegas.
Yeah, I saw that. He has a new scheme at Vegas. There's renderings of it. I don't know if it's like fully out yet.
Yeah, he's got the black and gold car there for Vegas as a tribute to the Zach Brown band. But so transitioning though from the Xfinity Series into Cup, we had some Chase Elliott domination. Leading, what was it? What was the final count? Like 200?
I think it was like 200 something laps.
But yeah, Chase Elliott dominating that, but ultimately, it comes up short after a rain caution, brings out the caution flag, and then we end up having to sit through a a long rain delay with 15 laps to go. A lot of us were questioning, would we get it back going or not? Ultimately, we did get it back going. 2 overtimes and a hard charge from Chase Briscoe ultimately comes up 1 spot short, and Dennis the Menace claimed victory at the Monster Mile. So yeah, so that was the race for the win. How did you guys? What were your guys' thoughts as we were getting down towards the latter part of that race? Tyler?
It shows the fact that Denny's not letting the lawsuit drama phase him. The fact that he's able to go out and race each week and be a threat to win, even though his team might lose his charter. Like he said, already lost his charters and losing a lot of money. But it shows how good of a driver he is. Now, my personal opinion on the race, it was actually a pretty good Dover race, actually.
Yeah, especially when you guys are in the short track package.
It was, I think it was a mix between the intermediate and the short track package.
Yeah.
They were going pretty quick down the straightaways.
Yeah. More so, I was referring to the fact that that all the tracks of this length always seem to have just troubles with this car, no matter the package they put on it.
I think it's because they mixed both the intermediate and the short track. I think they had like the intermediate front end and the. I don't know how they did it, but they mixed it. I think is what they did.
Whatever they did, they need to repeat it for Iowa.
But the cool part about it is, usually Dover's a 1-lane track down on the bottom, but they were able to get the second and third lane going and passing, and it was actually there was a lot more passing than years past.
Yep.
Other than Chase Elliott.
It was a lot more difficult though for them to finish passes. If you watched it, I mean,
dirty air, yeah.
Especially finishing the pass to the lead specifically,
because he had the clean air up front, and that was battling dirty air in the back. Once you get up to the thing, it's like because he has the clean air.
Yeah, Christopher Bell. Oh, sorry, buddy.
Sorry, damn, Christopher Bell, dude.
Yep.
You can only save it twice, but the third time you're out.
He only spun
Tyler, twice. Were you all done?
One more thing. No, he spun on himself but twice, but he got taken out in that third wreck that sent into the second overtime.
Pretty sure two.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. It's 2.
Yeah.
I just had to. Anyway, go ahead.
Wow, we should have started this earlier because clearly we're tired. My thoughts on Dover. I really thought they were going to hand the race to Denny Hamlin as soon as the rain came, and they made it pretty clear that they were going to restart it one way or another. That was exciting. I know from a Ty Dillon perspective, I was feeling it because I thought he was done. He was behind.
With John Hunter.
He was behind. I didn't think that the race was going to get restarted. He had no shot. And then boom, boom, boom. Magic in a bottle. That glass slipper, man. You gotta love it. I feel real bad for Christopher Bell. That really was sucky. Chase Briscoe. I really wish he raced Denny a little bit harder, but we'll go with it. I very much dislike Denny Hamlin. He can have 11 against the world, but I think the world's still against him. Overall, the race, I mean, it's a Dover race. I wish that they could have made the passes a little bit easier. Some like little tweaks maybe next year, trying to get that dialed in as far as like the ability to almost feel like a dirt track where you send it in and then clear them. That would be cool, but that's not really. It's whoever's really got the position. I mean, you can be underneath someone, but you still have to lift off the corner. I mean, you just don't give yourself enough space. I mean, you can run side by side with them, but it's always the inside car that's got to lift. That outside line always has to run off the corner. It's almost like you got to anticipate, backing it up a little bit and then shooting the run out. and then going into the next corner a little bit more prepared. It in a 2-lap shootout, there's not really an opportunity to do that, so your options are really limited. But overall, I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, it was a pretty good race. It could have ended very badly. They could have just called it and said, "Here we go, send them home." I'm glad that it worked out and they finished the race. So Denny Hamlin won, unfortunately, 8-time winner. So be it.
And one thing I heard after the race, he set the fastest lap of the race on those 75-lap old tires, which is just insane. That how do you set the fastest lap of the entire day on 70 to 80 lap tires?
That means the tire. I mean, it also probably didn't help the fact that like he didn't pit. He didn't pit after the rain delay, did he?
No, that's why he had 75 to 80 lap tires.
So the tires had time to cool down, and the track was cool, so he had more grip. Wouldn't have mattered, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah,
Jamie,
so ultimately, though, Denny Hamlin does manage to survive. Jamie is now joining us here. Yeah, so Jamie, real quick, you want to give some thoughts on the Cup race as we're just wrapping up our discussion about it before we move into the in-season tournament a little bit?
Yeah, are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah, we
can hear you.
Okay. What all was said, and that way I can kind of give a different opinion than what's already been said.
For the most part, hard to pass, but easier than in years past. Rain delay topic, and then the Denny Hamlin holding off on old tires.
So I will say this. From being at multiple Dover races, I actually enjoyed this Dover race. It was definitely a competitive race. Some things that you may not have seen on TV. A lot of mid-pack passing, which is usually a knock with these cars. So, like I said, it may not have reflected on TV. If you guys are saying that there was a lack of ability of passing, there was plenty of passing going on during that race that may or may not have been caught on TV. Shout out to the bracket challenge. I found myself multiple times when we went through that stretch of Chase Elliott dominating the race or whomever was up front. I was constantly looking to see where the 10 was, where the 42 was, where was the 45 as compared to the 54. So it made me look for drivers that I would not necessarily have any slate of interest looking for.
Yep.
But no, I think the weather-wise, it started off as like a mist. Then next thing you know, the floodgates opened for about 3 minutes. And then there wasn't a cloud in the sky. And I was sitting there soaking wet, hoping Mother Nature would jet dry me as well.
Yep. Yeah, I think most of our discussion about it being hard to pass was specifically referring to near the front of the field when clean air starts to become a factor. But
that's just a product of the cars, though. That's not the tire compound. There's nothing that we can do with this generation of NASCAR vehicles. When you get that clean air,
every possible change at them at this point.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to get past. Now, what I will say is, I wish that being at the track when they threw that first caution for potential rain, those were some heavy raindrops that was coming down to the track. But it quickly fizzled out. So again, different from being there live as the perspective of the TV. It wasn't like it was a mist or like some light drops that were coming on there. They were heavy drops. enough to where I don't fault NASCAR for throwing out the yellow. Now, what I didn't like, and I solely blame cause for this, is Ross Chastain for wrecking.
Oh,
He killed the NASCAR vortex that kept that downpour away by making. I blame him as to why I got drenched.
Yep.
But no, I was really hoping that rain didn't come, because I was really interested to see what was going to happen, because Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson were moving. They were closing in dramatically on Hamlin and Bell, and was it no? No, wait, yeah, it was Bell. Yeah,
was it Bell
on
at that
Hamlin?
point? Yeah, and then Briscoe got up there during the overtimes.
Yep. And then the thing that was scary to me, Kyle Larson was starting to drive Dover like it was Bristol, being up close to the wall, getting that high lane moving. And I was like, oh my goodness, Kyle Larson is going to come. He's going to get past Chase. No. He's going to take advantage of the older tires, and he's going to steal this thing. And then the caution came out.
Can I say something real quick, Jamie?
Yep, go ahead.
No, but the fact is, it's the speed difference in that top line compared to the bottom is absolutely absurd. If you were watching the telemetries, it was crazy how fast those cars were up top. They were barely lifting off until they dove to the middle of the corner.
Yeah, it was absolutely wild to watch. And like I said, I saw old school Larson starting to come out, and I got scared, because when that happens and Larson gets moving, things typically go his way. But altogether, I loved the entire race. I love the fact that they jet drive the track so quickly to get the final laps in, because I didn't want it to end on on another rained out race. That would have left a bad taste in my mouth as a person who NASCAR only comes to my track once a year now. So, but I enjoyed it. I know that some people call it like speculation, and I got more than I want to talk about it, but I don't want to take up the rest of the time here. But I'll say some of it for my green flags, black flags.
Yeah. So, and then obviously, as we mentioned, kind of throughout that one, we did have the in-season tournament bracket. We had Ty Gibbs going up against Tyler Reddick, battling it at about, I think they were basically 8th and 9th, like for 90% of that race. But I think most of us here were probably glued to the battle a lot further back in about 25th, where we had John Hunter Nemechek dueling it out really tough with Ty Dillon. And I find it funny that his Ty Dillon shirt is car 42, which was ironically the car he had to beat to get there. So, but yeah, ultimately though, we do have a tiebreaker race in Indy. Ty Gibbs versus Ty Dillon, the tiebreaker race at Indianapolis. Winner gets $1 million between the two of them. That is going to be a ton of fun to watch down the stretch. Let's go ahead and let Ty Miller, our local Ty Dillon fan, go ahead and gush on about his driver for a few.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I told you so. I told you so. He's driving like a man on a mission. I'm so excited. But yeah, it took Lady Luck to get him into that final race, where he has quite the advantage with his Xfinity win, with all of his seasons under his belt. And Ty Gibbs, who for some odd reason can't put it together. I like the boy. He's got to do something this weekend, because he is got to throw it at the wall. They got to take advantage on the straights. They got to take advantage getting far out ahead of Ty Dillon, because if Ty Dillon is right there with them, Ty Dillon is going to do what Ty Dillon does, and he is going to wear that slipper, and he's going to put that crown on his head, and he's going to be the belle of the ball. And I am so excited for him to get his flowers while he's still here, because who knows what the Cup Series has in store. This man has been around. He has played second fiddle to his brother, and it is his moment to shine. This is everything for him. I hope that they just take this big ball of money and just throw it right at the car. I hope that they're top 10 all day. I hope Ty Gibbs has some sort of issue on pit road, loses a wheel, spins out, doesn't wreck, doesn't get hurt, nothing, okay, but he goes like 2, 3, 4, 10 laps down. I want it locked in. I don't want to have to worry like I worry every single race. Every single race, I don't want to worry anymore. I just want it locked in. My boy's in. My boy's the champion. That's all I need. That's all I want. That's all I want. That's all I really want. That's all I really care about. I want my boys' time to shine, and I want everyone to get on that bandwagon, because that Silver Spoon kid is up against another Silver Spoon kid, and he's got the shinier spoon. You can go ahead now.
All right. Well, that was definitely a rant that we all pretty much saw coming, and I don't think any of us saw it coming as to just what direction you were going to go there. But yeah, I think the big thing coming into this race, and it is going to be something that will probably be answered, I believe, on Saturday in qualifying. Just double checking to make sure qualifying is on Saturday this week. I assume it is, because it's almost always. Yeah, qualifying is on Saturday, and that will really depend, because if Dylan qualifies, say, 10 to 15 spots worse than if Dylan qualifies 10 to 15 spots worse than Gibbs, I think it'll be potentially an easy kind of coast job for Ty Gibbs to not have to worry and just kind of run quietly inside the top 15 because Indianapolis is a track that it can very much come down to the car and not necessarily as much the driver. And if Ty Dillon's car doesn't have the horsepower to keep up with the field, it could be a problem. Jamie?
Go ahead, Jamie.
All I'm saying is, at this point, you can't say that Ty Dillon doesn't have a shot.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying that at all.
He's ran about as well as he can possibly run. But I'm just saying, coming into turn 3 and 4, if for whatever reason Ty Dillon and Ty Gibbs are right there, it's going to be pandemonium. You're going to hear about 3 to 4 slide jobs happening between turns 3 and 4. It's going to be insane. I'm excited to see it. I don't know. I'm hopeful that we're going to be entertained, but just with how Gibbs ran at Dover, getting that good momentum, Dylan has to have better horsepower under that engine than he did at Dover. Otherwise, it's not going to be close. I really want Ty Dillon to win this. I really do. But they gotta get more horsepower under that engine. Throw a stick to the fan. Yep.
All right, Tyler.
I love the fact that that's getting more attention to the fact that it's going to be the Kyle Larson. It's probably going to be the Kyle Larson show this weekend.
Yeah, well, I think we're all kind of tired of the Kyle Larson show to some extent. Because Kyle Larson, he did that last year. He did the Indy storyline, winning Indy, but not the one that mattered. Last year. He doesn't need to do it this year. But
no, I'm gonna say my opinion real quick on the thing.
Okay, yeah.
I hope Ty Dillon can pull it off. I mean, to be very honest, as much as I hate to say, like I said, I do agree with Jamie about the horsepower. I don't know if Colleague's gonna provide him. I mean, unless is Colleague paired with HMS for engines?
RCR.
Or are they RCR? RCR has been solid, so I mean,
I think back in 2020 they did a whole engine merger where they were supposedly where all the Chevys were coming out of the same combined shop now.
Did you just say that?
It does seem like there's a difference between the Hendrick aligned
RCR
car.
engine?
Did you say RCR's engine has been doing better?
I said solid.
Play off the nose, candy buddy.
Anyway,
But
like, I honestly think it really depends on, like, I do agree with Ryan as well on the qualifying. It's really going to depend on qualifying because Indianapolis is a track that is not known for its passing. It's known for its strung out single file racing and tires. Oh my gosh. Tires. Hopefully we don't have a 2008. Hopefully the tires will hold up. But I'm hoping he wins, but as much as I hate to say, I have Gibbs winning it. Unfortunately, I like Dylan's things, but it's just because of we don't know what Colleague's going to bring to the table, and it's really going to be about track position, especially on pit road
brings pretty
race.
consistently good cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate here. I'll give an argument for both drivers because I do feel like both drivers definitely deserve their flowers for how far they've gotten. Obviously, I think Ty Gibbs has the advantage in terms of the fact that his team provides him routinely very fast race cars and very consistent engines. Obviously, as we heard from the Richard Childress tirade on the radio about how they need to get better race cars. And obviously, some of that trickles down to that engine and other components that they help pass down to the Colleague cars. And especially at an aero-dependent track like Indianapolis is going to be, I feel like it could very well be an aero-dependent and track position race. So qualifying will make a difference. So if Dylan can qualify close to Gibbs, he can fight with his experience. But if let's just say hypothetically Dylan qualifies 29th and Gibbs qualifies 9th, that's going to be a long way for Gibbs to have to claw back in terms of space. Now, on the positive side, Ty Dillon, as Ty mentioned, has a lot of experience, including a win here. And exactly which car did he outduel to win that race back literally a decade ago? The Monster Energy number 54. So quite literally, he outdueled the same car number, same sponsor. Maybe that's just a good luck thing, but I would like to mention that race did happen a complete decade ago, back in 2014. So definitely, I think the experience could play into advantage there. Why are you holding up the 3? I know he was driving the 3. He outdueled the number 54 Monster Energy car, though, in the race. Yeah, back at Indy, so, yep.
You didn't play devil's advocate very well. You gave a lot of hoopla, and then you just kind of like went straight downhill. And then you're like, oh, well, hopefully he can outduel him. But no. RCR is struggling. RCR gets their engines just the same as Colleague does. But
if Dylan can qualify close to him, I think he can outduel him on the experience.
The mistakes that Ty Gibbs keeps making, or his pit crew keeps making, is keeping him from going to that next level. And that's going to be consistent with what's going on right now. And that's why you should support Ty more than the other Ty.
You know the last race that Ty Gibbs finished outside the top 15?
Do you know how many races Ty Gibbs lost from like being second or third all the way back to 15?
Well, yeah, obviously he hasn't won any of those. How many cup wins does Ty Gibbs have, or does Ty Dillon have?
About the same as Ty Gibbs.
Exactly. And how many more starts does Ty Dillon have over Ty Gibbs? He has a lot more experience losing than Gibbs does.
But Ty Dillon has one thing that Ty Gibbs does not. Ty Dillon raced out on Wednesday.
Yep. But yeah, so literally the last time Gibbs didn't had something that kept him out of the top 15 though was literally Nashville on June 1st. So it has been a month and a half since Ty Gibbs had to finish outside that top 15. So Dillon is gonna have to have the race of his life, but it could happen. And this is a track that has played well for him in the past, and would not be overly surprising to see him, if he does qualify well, to be able to maintain that track position throughout the race. So, but moving on to the our green flags and black flags from the race weekend. I'll let Ty go first with his green flag, since I think we all know what it's going to be.
My green flag from the weekend is actually going to be more about the overall quality of the race, I want to say. All of the races tend to start out slow, methodical, but then somehow the cup races always boil down to the same things that we see every week. Somehow it always gets close towards the end somehow, with the exception of, SVG. SVG was going to win Sonoma by a mile anyways, so that's beside the point. But the racing itself is closer, and the bracket challenge, like I was going to bring up anyways, is more exciting. But the black flags are going to be the weather. The big time black flag is the weather, and the other one is still presentation when it comes to the entire race. I mean, TNT does a really good job, but they're not focusing where it counts, or they're not covering or missing stuff that we later have to get from social media. So that'll be my black flag, but green flag is the overall quality of like the race finishes.
Can I go next?
All right, Tyler, you're up next.
My green flag, honestly, kudos to Chase Elliott, man. We haven't had a performance out of him in a while. I see you down there.
I'm sorry.
I see you down there. You get to gloat about Ty Gibbs, or not Ty Gibbs. Ty Dillon. You get to gloat about Ty Dillon. I get to gloat about Chase Elliott, and Jamie can agree with me on this one. We haven't had a performance like this from Chase in a while, like where he looked like he was back to form, dominating, but came up short. And just in general, Hendrick Motorsports all day, because they were stupid fast all day. It's just like it came down to the final restart, and Denny was able to hold everybody off. And Chase Elliott fell off on the first overtime restart and just couldn't recover. It happens. But my black flag, I'm sorry, but this week it has to go to Christopher Bell. Just a bad luck. Spinning while battling for the lead, and then being taken out to cause the first overtime. I think you took how many cars out with him?
I think 2 or 3 others out.
He took out Noah Gragson, which Noah Gragson got absolutely trashed.
Yeah,
I think 3 that got parked, and then someone else was involved.
I think it might have been Byron. I think it was William Byron.
Yeah, Byron was definitely destroying that one.
But yeah, Christopher Bell just had a great car all day, but I don't know what happened there. That's my black flag.
All right. Jamie, you want to go?
Sure. So, something that my green flag is something that I say is kind of unprecedented by NASCAR. So yes, NASCAR officials, NASCAR admins are getting the green flag this week. When we had that downpour and we had about 18 laps to go in the race. Rather than having the cars go under the pace speed and do laps around Dover while they went and send the Air Titans down pit road to make sure it got nice and dry, they made an educated move and parked them between the back stretch and turns 1 and 2 to prevent laps of being removed away. And then once they actually did get moving, they made it as a timely process for them to go down pit road if they needed to, knock out all those things. And we got about as much racing as we could have possibly gotten once they went green again. NASCAR took an impossible situation, made the right calls, and did the right thing by the fans that were in attendance that stayed around to make sure that they got the best possible experience that they could with the most laps that they could possibly get them to run. So kudos to NASCAR. It was a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, and I think they handled it well.
Yep.
Black Flag, I mean, I could take the cheap outing and blame weather, but that seems to be a theme every single year at Dover for whatever reason. I don't know why, but always seems to be an impacting factor at Dover, no matter what time of year, which month they place it in, always a factor. So I'm not going to go there. My Black Flag goes to SVG. He knew he did not belong in that top 10, but the man went down pit road thinking that he had a tire down when it was really just the bumps in the track. Come on, bro. Come on.
Yep.
Like, great road course racer, but you got to learn something about concrete, bro. Concrete's bumpy. You're not going to feel like you have that car under control because of all the rough patches that concrete brings. And rather than trying to learn it and just wing it, you just pull on the outside and let everybody go by you. And 15 laps into the race, you're going down pit road thinking you got a tire down, when it was just a very bumpy racetrack that you were not familiar with. That's my Black Flag.
Yep. All right. So for my green flag, I'm going to go ahead and just straight up give the green flag to the bracket competition for this week because, really both matches stayed really close. I don't think Gibbs and Reddick were ever really separated by more than about 3, maybe 4 cars at any given time. And I felt like John Hunter Nemechek and Ty Dillon stayed very close as well throughout the entire race, most of it being separated by only 1 car, sometimes not separated by it, but the only car separating them was each other. So massive credit to NASCAR for this bracket challenge and ultimately keeping what would have been an otherwise very dominant race by Chase Elliott very interesting for fans who weren't watching purely for the Chase Elliott domination of it all. Also, again, credit to Chase Elliott for putting on such a dominating race because I feel like we've talked about the Hendrick cars doing that a fair amount, but we haven't really talked about specifically Elliott doing that very much. Larson does it every other month, it feels like. He'll rattle one off like that, and we're probably due for one at this point. But and then for my Black Flag, since Jamie didn't do it, I will go ahead and throw it right to the weather because not a big fan of rain, and I believe this is one of our first races to be first Cup races of the year to really be heavily impacted by rain. I know we haven't had a Monday race yet this year, if I'm not mistaken. And we really haven't had very many rain delays at all, which has been really refreshing. But definitely a weird one there. So that's going to be it for green flags and black flags. And as we get into the Indy preview, obviously this is going to be the last race for TNT. So the last chance for for the Turner Sports Group to try and kind of turn around the broadcast, which we've kind of talked about over the last couple of weeks, is felt like it was kind of shifting away from the good coverage that we saw with Prime. First race on TNT felt really good at Atlanta in terms of the coverage, and then it feels like it's just been slipping further and further as they've done more and more of these broadcasts. The coverage of the in-season tournament portions have been really good, but it seems like whenever they're not talking about the in-season tournament, it feels like they're really struggling to keep the broadcast focus. So as we get ready for that, though, we do have Indy and we do have race picks. I've got a wheel, and we got all four of our names. You guys ready for picks?
Spin that wheel.
All right, and up first, it's gonna be the man himself, Jamie.
All right. Well, give me Larson. He's due for one.
Fuck.
All right.
God damn it.
All right, so Jamie gets Larson. All right, Tyler, you get to go ahead and pick someone other than Larson.
I'm going to go with the third week in a row. I'm going to go with my lucky 9, Chase Elliott, but now I have to go in the penalty box because I said a forbidden word.
All right, and then for the final spin, Ty, you get your pick. You gonna take Ty Dillon?
No, smart money would be on a Penske car. I'm gonna pull a rabbit out of my hat, and I'm gonna go with Kyle Busch. I'm gonna will that in existence and ride it.
Yep, Kyle Busch, my favorite Penske driver.
Oh, he's not Penske. I said smart money would be on Penske, but I'm going Kyle Busch.
Okay, yeah. I just find it funny. Yeah. All right, so then obviously fourth and final spin was me, so that will be. So who do I want to go for? I feel like the board's pretty wide open here. I could go Logano, getting the win for Penske. I also could go. I'm gonna go William Byron. I think the 24 going back to victory lane here at Indy would be a fun storyline, and I think Byron has the talent to get it done. So I'm gonna take William Byron.
Man, that's surprising. I thought at least one of you four or one of you other three was going to take Ryan Blaney.
I could definitely see the argument for Blaney. I mean, wasn't he the runner-up here to Kyle Larson last year?
He definitely was, and some would say that he had the stronger car too.
Yeah, but ultimately, I have that good feeling about the Hendrick cars. But before we get out of here, we do have, as per usual, we have Jamie here, which means we have Jamie's Trivia, where Jamie gives us all a trivia question trying to stump us. Yeah, if any of us get it right, we get a bonus point towards race picks. If none of us get it, Jamie will get the bonus point towards race picks. So, Jamie, hit us with your trivia.
All right. So the date is July 27th. Comes Sunday's race. So we will catapult ourselves all the way back to 2014. Kind of funny that Ryan mentioned some racing in that particular year. But in that race, we saw roughly about six or so different drivers all lead laps. And my question for tonight, and again, no using phones, no using a different browser. Which driver led the most laps in the 2014 edition of July 27th Brickyard 400?
Okay, so it was a Brickyard. Okay.
Well, technically they call it the John Wayne Walding 400, but
yeah, but it was at the Brickyard because
right.
Brickyard's moved its date around, so I wasn't sure if it fell back.
What's the leeway? What's the leeway for this week for the laps led?
Within 5.
Okay. Within 5 laps led or lead changes?
Laps led. Most laps led.
Sorry. It's which driver led the most laps.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, just driver. Now, I'll throw out a second bonus point if you can give me the total laps led, and I'll put that within a 5-lap radius.
I think I'll let you two go first because I have an idea.
So I will go with Ty.
God, I can't remember what year some of those races were.
That was 2014.
He was probably still wrapped up in the Ty Dillon celebration from the night before.
Hey, maybe. God, I can't remember.
Well,
I don't know.
You got two shots.
Maybe Jimmy Johnson, 50 laps. I don't know. It's a good shot, I guess.
You said Jimmy Johnson, 50 laps?
Oh, don't say that.
No, I'm just confirming. Is that your guess?
Yeah, I thought you were saying it was wrong already.
Okay.
Ryan.
All right. 2014.
No.
So that would have been Harvick's first year back in the 4. I don't think he got the. I think his other Brickyard wins came back when he was in the 29. I don't think he won a 4 Brickyard until 2020. So I'm gonna 2014, man. So it's definitely a weird year. I know the 2 years afterwards was the Kyle Busch domination years, but I'm gonna say 2014. Let's go with. You know what? For whatever reason it came to mind, I'm gonna just say Kevin Harvick, and let's say 35 laps.
I actually going with a guess. The Jeff Gordon with 106 laps led.
All right, so Jeff Gordon won the race.
I should have said who I thought it was, man.
So Gordon won the race. Okay.
Gordon won the race, but he did not lead the most laps. The driver that led the most laps was conveniently in the number 5 car, Casey Kane. And he led 70 laps.
How many?
70.
70. Okay, so we were all.
He actually had some pretty good.
I was gonna say Casey Kane. Oh man, kicking myself.
I was watching your camera when you actually looked up the results, and I saw your reaction.
Actually, since Ryan brought it up earlier, I have a good one. Actually, which driver was the first driver to ever kiss the bricks?
In NASCAR or
in NASCAR?
Yeah, the kissing the bricks at Indy.
Well, that's an easy one.
Is it?
Like Up Series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I answer that?
Go right ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was Gordon, wasn't it?
Nope.
Gordon won the first Brickyard 400. The kissing the bricks didn't start till a couple years later with
blank. Jamie.
I'll let Jamie because I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I haven't looked it up to confirm.
I would say
Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, that's who I thought too.
Correct. Yeah. That is correct.
Yeah. Oh wow.
What year though?
I'm gonna say was it the? Hold on. Oh, you're gonna give it a guess? I'm pretty sure.
You can guess. Too. You can go ahead and guess while I'm thinking, Ryan. You can go ahead and guess while I'm thinking.
All right, I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was 97. I think it was the 97 Brickyard 400.
Okay, Jamie.
This worked out for me the last time, so I'm going to go with the year before that Ryan chooses. I could be completely wrong, but I'm going to just go with what did you say? 97?
Yeah, I said 97.
All right, I'm going 96.
It was 98 actually.
Okay, I knew I was close. I just didn't know if I wanted to go that extra year further.
He started it when he was Yates Racing.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to Google search it. So hold on.
I mean, Jeff Gordon won the first one. I think. How many did Dale Earnhardt win? Like 2 of them.
Okay, so
Dale Earnhardt
He only won
won the second one. Then Dale Jarrett in '96. No, Jamie was right. 1996. Dale Jarrett.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you are right. Okay.
won
My
in
bad.
96.
You get a bonus point. That was my bad.
Yeah, then Ricky Rudd in
Hey, Ryan.
97, Gordon in 98, Dale Jarrett once again in 99. So Dale Earnhardt only ever won it once.
Well, I'm going to keep using this logic until it doesn't give me points anymore. I'll let Ryan say a year, and then I'll go the 1 year before.
All right. And
Okay, so I need to start going after Jamie. Got it. I need to start making my guesses after Jamie.
Any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yeah,
no,
look how sunburned I am.
Hmm?
Look how sunburned I am from Dover.
Yeah, you look like it, man.
Yeah, you had a fun day at the races.
I don't know who's going to have it worse. Do you think I'm going to have it worse, or do you think Tyler's going to have it worse when we go to Watkins Glen?
I think you're going to have it
Oh,
worse.
you're going to have it way worse, dude. I'm tan. I just got back from D.C. I got the same sun he did, but I actually wore sunscreen.
Oh, yeah. I was red as a lobster last year.
Ooh, is that going to be
I'd show you my legs, but I don't think I can get my...
Is that going to be the
I
episode?
can't get my leg up that high.
All right. Well,
anyway, thank you guys for
pretty much wrap it up for this one. Again, as we mentioned earlier, we will be doing a joint podcast on what's the date for the
August 1st.
August 1st for the Dirt and Turf lap down crossover episode where we will be covering the Speedway Classic game between the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds. Make sure you guys check out our other podcast, Hard Count and Passing the Pigskin, the college and pro football podcasts, both returning soon, along with Dirt and Turf, our baseball podcast. Tyler, you want to go ahead and rattle off the other ones?
Biscuits and Penalties, Handed Down Bench, which is our fun little podcast we do to kill time in between seasons. Join us. We talk about random stuff. We make silly arguments. Nothing political, but we have a little fun on the weekends, just talking about, asking questions, getting to know everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Give a like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Give us a follow if you're watching us, listening to us on Spotify. And we are free and available on any podcast platform thing. Thank you guys for watching. Deuces. Oh, thank you to our sponsors tonight, Circle B. Use our code down in the bio below to get $5 off your next purchase. Thank you to Fubo TV, Raw Nutrition, and we don't have Black Rifle Coffee, so no, we can't do that. And best of luck.
You could probably get that shirt on. Can you get shirts on Circle B?
I believe. I don't know.
You can.
I know they're primarily die-cast, but
anyway, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you notify when we go live. Post daily TikToks and shorts on YouTube. So stay tuned for the next video. Have a good night, guys. Deuces.